Hello and welcome. I have a very special video to give you today. This is probably an overlap video from Nidvember, so we're into Nid-Sember now. And that is of an unbagging, it doesn't come in a box, an unbagging and first look at a model that I have had my eye on since it came out a few years ago, which is the Tyranid Dimachaeron. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Lots of other YouTubers just avoid that altogether and just call him Dave. If I have pronounced it wrong, tough luck pretty much. I'm sticking with that now. So this model, according to the 2018 Forge World catalogue, will cost you £95. It's a fair bit of money considering it's not much taller than like a trigon, but it does have an awful lot of detail, and it just reminds me of an alien queen. If you've watched the film Aliens, very sort of reminiscent of that, with these kind of high heel type hooves and legs that it's got. So let's unbag this and we'll have a look at the parts individually. If you haven't already, I'd strongly suggest you watch my Astreus resin preparation video, and that gives you all the necessary steps to take when preparing your resin for building and painting. So straight away you get that it's been checked by someone on the spaceship N7 from Mass Effect, it seems, on the 19th of October. So it's only a month ago. I don't know whether this has been sat in the bag in the HQ for that long. It may well have, but there we go. Then you've got a list of all the parts, and then you've got one sheet of instructions which just shows the model complete. So good luck with this one, guys. So looks like you've got what, 25 parts or so. There's more of specific parts, isn't there? So let's just call it 31 parts. So good luck with this, guys. Not really any instructions as to, you know, how to build it. This is going to be a big learning curve for me, but hopefully I'll create it. With my experience, I should be able to build it correctly, but you never know. So that is what the Dimachaeron will look like when built. I love these huge sickle claws, fast creature, does a lot of damage. I think it's like strength 10 with those sickle claws. It can eat organisms too. Its chest is like a big mouth. Odd looking when I first saw it, but it sort of makes sense. But yeah, it does have more than one mouth then, really, doesn't it? But there you go. That's what it will look like. Let's have a look at the parts. Wow. Oh wow, look at this. Okay, so obviously those will just, you know, peel off, peel out, you know, and then there'll be gaps. I might as well just sort of do that now. My OCD's kicking in here. I'll leave the others though, I'll refrain. But you've got this big sort of hood, this spike hood here, a little bit bent there, but nothing that a hairdryer won't sort of fix to bend it into a bit more of a acceptable shape. But the thing is, it's a bioorganism anyway. Things are going to look slightly different. Lots of carapace and sinew and all kinds of things going on there. It's going to be lovely to shade that and get into the crevices. I really like the fibre bundles in these exhaust vents. And yeah, you can see the exhaust vents. This is something that you don't necessarily get on other Tyranid creatures. You don't get this join between the exhaust and the carapace. If you can see that, the gaps in there, and that's much more realistic because it looks like these exhaust vents are kind of one with the carapace rather than like they've just been stuck on there. And then you get extra details within them. So instead of them being hollowed out like a vehicle or something, they've actually modelled them and designed them so that they are kind of like spore cysts in a way. They're all slightly different, the way that it's excreting, you know, all its, I want to say heat, but gases, I don't know, but it's something. And you know, these are needed for this organism. I think a lot of the Tyranid creatures are quite fast, fast heartbeats if they've got hearts, fast metabolic rate, and they need a way of getting rid of you know, short lifespans quite possibly, and they need a way of getting rid of their waste quickly. So there you go, that's the top sort of carapace. we've got a leg, guys. We've got a couple of legs. If you're a leg guy, this will be for you. Wow, look at that lovely leg. Ah, it's beautiful. Nice chunky thigh and a well-defined calf muscle. Okay, I'll try and leave off the innuendos, but you got this hoof with a claw and a couple of claws there. Lots of nice attention to detail with the carapace and how it sort of suctions in. Really nice model. Really nice piece. You've got it standing on this kind of ruined building part, it looks like, along with a couple of skulls there. Really like how they've chosen to have this model on. I think there'll be another claw there. I think that'll probably be in the set to glue on for kind of stability when it's walking around. And then you've got this other one again. It's standing on a bit of kind of debris, building debris. Really nice attention to detail in here with the sinew and stuff, and the fibre bundles there. Look at the detail just on the lip. It's got a very nice sort of raised lip around the edge. Excellent. Yeah, very impressed. Already it sold it to me in terms of that detail on the legs and the carapace, regardless of anything else. Whoa, hello. High five, mate. We've got this huge three-fingered hand and arm. Lots of detail going on there. This really has blown my mind already. The pictures don't do it justice, I'll tell you that, guys. In person, the detail, I'm hoping that the light picks all the detail and the areas in this. If you're a Tyranid player, you really need to get this model. It is fantastic. I'm so pleased I picked one up. So that's a big arm. Wow, look at this tail. Look at that. And it's even got these kind of like little armour chinks going on, a little bit like a dragon's tail maybe. And then it just opens up into this sharp spiked tail with kind of these globule type things on. Maybe they're eggs, maybe they're... So that's that, the tail. Oh, here's another part of the tail. I think it's like a two section tail. So that will go on there. That is a long tail. Look at the size. Wow, that is incredible. Look at this, what's going on here. So lots of carapace and ribs and detail in the holes. And again, I'm just blown away by this. This is beautiful. Loved the chit in the armour plates. Feels lovely. Feels lovely. You get a wooden stick and you could play that tail like a xylophone. Oh, beautiful. This is why they need to make more Tyranids in Forge World. They really do. Then we get a bag of bits, and then we've got the base in this bag too. So comes in one of these bases. I think this is the same size as the Toxicrene actually, which is a bit odd, but yeah, just from the size of it, it's going to be what, probably sort of that tall or so. It may, I think it'll be bigger than a Trigon. It'll definitely be the biggest Tyranid model I have. I would really like to get the Hierophant, the Biotitan. I really would. But for me, there are many other big Imperial models that I'd like to get for that price. And I should have really got that Biotitan. I wasn't into Tyranids at all. Obviously, since I've only just got into Tyranids this year with Nidvember. But for me, I really should have bought that Biotitan when it was, I think it was about £140, I want to say. Much like the Eldar Titans, the Revenants. They were about 140 and now they're pushing over 200. I think the Tyranid Biotitan is £270, which is, in my opinion, far too much. For it to go up by £130, £120 in so many years is just astronomical. It's almost doubled in price. I think that's just too much. It's a lovely looking model. Let's continue before I rant about prices and things. So here, hopefully, we have all these massive scything talon sickle things. Look at that. Look at the detail on that. That is superb. So his fists basically turned into these big scythes. Lots of detail. I really like that. The sandwich, it's just a little detail like that. Like, they didn't have to do that. They could have just made two sides and sort of moulded it onto the fist. But they actually detailed and modelled the individual kind of supporting skin structure, or whatever it is, sinew, I think, probably, to join them together. Then they modelled it on the other side, on the carapace, and put some spikes on there. And even with the spikes on the carapace, I don't know if you can see that. I'll try and zoom in, guys, but yeah, you can see, look at the spikes are even kind of moulded into the carapace with these arches of sinew. So a lot of attention to detail there, guys. And then you pretty much got another pair of them. Obviously that's not part of it, is it? Yeah, similar kind of story for that part. Hello again. So got the right hand with the 3 fingers. This is odd, isn't it? Look at this. What could that be? Does it put its hand on a space marine or an organism and suck stuff out of it? I don't know. Maybe it's for holding like a glass when you're taking a drink so you don't drop it. Or maybe it suctions onto walls and helps it climb up buildings and stuff. Who knows? Look at this. Some kind of like barbed tentacle type thing. Yeah, it's barbed and it's got scythe on it. Excellent. So that's another thing that goes on there. You've got some more limbs. So these are the limbs for the scythes, I think. So yeah, it does have the 4 arms in total. A lot of detail on those. Excellent. And then I think we've got the head, which we'll have a look at last, obviously. We've got another one of these like tentacle type things with a hook on it. Another one there. We've got these scythes, which I think go on part of the armour. That might be the tongue, I want to say. Lots of detail on those. We've got part of the jaw for the carapace. It actually looks like a creature itself, but it's not. That's just sinew, and it's just got the front teeth. And this is the rib cage. This is very reminiscent of The Thing, where his rib cage becomes like a mouth with teeth and everything and chops the guy's arm off. Very reminiscent of that film, where his rib cage opens and then it can just chomp on a creature, space marine, and then they've even gone so far as to put these little tubing and gas kind of vents in there that will obviously start digesting anything that he grabs and keeps in his chest while he's stomping about. Lots of detail on those. Superb. Lots of little hooks and things and claws. Not really sure where they go, but hopefully the instructions will help me somewhat. And then we've got part of the jaw. So we've got a couple of them here. So this is the teeth. Look at that detail. I've never seen a Tyranid with so much detail. Even the kind of separations on the lower jaw and this spike and the teeth. Brilliant. And then finally you've got the so that should go sort of like that, I think. Very sort of shark type, very sort of I want to say dinosaur type, alien type. Yeah, so lots of detail there on the head. Don't know whether it's as big as a Trigon. I want to say sort of, definitely it's at least the same size as a Trigon head. Lots of detail on that, and on the roof cavity as well, if you can see that. Yeah, fantastic looking model. I am well chuffed with this. Yeah, £95, a lot of money, but I am super over the moon with this. I can't wait to put this in a container and wash it and start building it and add it to the Tyranid force. It's going to be one of the last models I build, and it's going to be one of the last Tyranid videos I get for you guys. And I specifically bought the Index Xenos because it has the rules in. The rules are there. The rules are there for the Dimachaeron. So I'll be going through a full review of this model once it's built, a load of size comparisons as always, so hopefully you'll join me for that. Thank you ever so much for joining me today though. Thank you for watching for the Norn Queen.